Hey guys, it's Kathleen, and today I'm going to be doing a book unhaul video. So I'm somebody who is totally prone to buying a book because of the cover and then keeping it around for a million years even if I didn't really enjoy it. However, I was recently watching Georgina from Georgina Reads do a video where she did a book unhaul, and she talked about how she reads 5 books and then she gets rid of them, which I will never do. I'm not that kind of person. I can't take that. I love just keeping books on my shelves, but I am going through a bit of a getting rid of everything, organizing my life phase. So I do actually have several books I've realized on my shelf that I don't want. I don't want to keep them around. I don't like them. I don't care anymore. And the only reason I would ever keep them around at all is for potential future videos. And even then, there are some of them I just never plan on using. So they're basically just pointless. So I wanted to show you guys some of the books that I'm getting rid of. Just because I'm getting rid of a book, by the way, as a disclaimer, doesn't mean it's a bad book, doesn't mean it's problematic, doesn't mean I hate it. It just means I have either no interest in reading it or it just hasn't caught my interest enough that I want to keep going with it. So if one of your faves is on this list, then that's okay. It's all good. We're all adults. We're friends. It's fine. So without further ado, let me just show you guys all the books that I am getting rid of. The first book that I plan on unhauling is No Safety with Numbers? No Safety in Numbers, and this is by Daniel Lawrence. I bought this years ago. I think it was 3 years ago now, and I think I read about a quarter of the book and I just didn't get into it. It's about this apocalypse situations in a mall. I think the blurb compared it to Hunger Games in a mall, and it's sort of like that. I don't even remember any of the characters' names. I don't remember what happened at all, really, beyond that there was one girl who was really shy or something and a boy who was bullied. I don't remember. My interest was definitely not piqued with this book. It was really, really boring, as I recall, so I'm definitely getting rid of this. It's just been sitting on my shelf for so long, and I've always told myself I would get back to it, but I also just realized I don't care. So I'm getting rid of it. So I also have a few arcs that I'm going to be getting rid of just because I didn't enjoy them that much and they're pretty much just taking space on my shelves at this point. And the first one is Me and Me by Alice Kupers. I read this in May, I believe, and I really didn't enjoy it. I just thought it was really dull. The writing just didn't grab me at all. I didn't care about the main character in the slightest. So I have no desire to keep it around. There's not really a lot you can do with an arc that you didn't actually enjoy. You can't really donate it anywhere. It can't be sold, I'm pretty sure, because it's property of the publisher. So the only option I have for this is I can bring it to work and just put it on this little bookshelf we have in our back room, or I can give it to a friend. So I think I'm going to see if any of my friends want this, but if not, then I'm just going to bring it to work because I don't care. And that goes for most of the arcs on this list. They're just pointless to me at this point, and there's no use keeping them around when I didn't even enjoy them. So another arc that I'm going to be giving away is One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus. This is a mystery novel following 4 teens who get caught in detention, and the 15th that's in detention dies mysteriously, and of course they're all under investigation for his murder. I thought this book was okay, but it really didn't wow me, and I've actually been made aware of certain problematic aspects of the book, mainly by Trina from Between Chapters, wrote a good review on Goodreads explaining why this book has issues. So I'm going to link that down below because I think it matters a lot, but I just didn't enjoy this book that much. I didn't think there was a lot of suspense or mystery to it. It's one of those books that I just remember being so underwhelmed by, so I really have no desire to keep it on the shelf, mainly because it just has no sentimental value to me, and I didn't really like it, so I'm gonna get rid of this, I'm pretty sure. I might be using this for a popular books I dislike video pretty soon, so I may keep it around for that, but after that, it's going to work, it's going to a friend, it's going somewhere because I don't want it. And then this arc I got a long while ago, actually. I think I got it at an event or something like that from HarperCollins, and that's Ivory and Bone by Julie Eshbo, I'm not quite sure. This book is supposed to be a Pride and Prejudice sort of retelling set in prehistoric times. I'm pretty sure this does not live up to that claim. I read the first chapter of it and I just thought it was so weird. It has this strange narration style where the main character describes his love interest by saying you instead of she or he or whatever. They describe it as you in every single sentence, and it's so strange. They're constantly they're talking to the love interest. I just thought that was so weird, and I have no interest in reading this, to be honest. And apparently the Jane Austen connections are quite slim in this book, so I don't think I would be interested in it for that reason, because apparently it's just not even there. So I really have no desire to read this at all. I think it seems kind of dull, so I'm gonna get rid of this or give it to a friend. This next one is so painful, but I've gotten just over halfway through this book, about 60% of the way, and I don't see myself ever picking it back up. I've tried so many times and I just don't care. I don't like it. So that is The Young Elites by Marie Lu. I had a hard time getting through Marie Lu's Legend series as well. I think I got halfway through the first one as well for that, and I'm really just struggling with that. But that is one I want to get back to, so I'm not unhauling those ones. This, however, I just didn't like the main character. I thought that she was really weird. I didn't like this whole darkness, mysteriousness that she was always going on about. I was kind of like, okay, you're so dramatic, like I just don't care. And I just didn't like the writing style for this book, so I don't see myself ever getting back to it. And I do not like DNFing books. I feel bad whenever I do it. There was a point in my life where I literally would feel guilty if I DNF'd a book, and I need to get over that, so I'm just gonna get rid of this book. I'm gonna give it to my friend, I think, because I just don't care about it enough to want to continue with it. It's really, really boring, and I kind of want it out of my life, so I'm just gonna get rid of it. The next books are books that I had for school, and I don't think I'm going to be able to sell them because the courses related to them aren't running anymore. So the first book is a book that I read for a class that studied women's fiction throughout the ages, and that is Corinne by Madame de Stael. I have such mixed feelings about this book. It's a really, really weird story about this guy who meets this woman named Corinne, and he's like totally in love with her, but they're pretty sure they can never get married, and he doesn't think his father would approve, and she's like super talented and really good at improvising, and there's all this drama. Lots of things that could be said about this book for sure. Like, I think there's so many different things to say about it, and it was interesting to study. But it's just on my shelf and I don't care about it that much, so it's taking up space and I don't need it. So I'm probably going to get rid of this. I think I can donate this to Value Village or to the library or something like that because I really just don't want it. And I don't think anyone in my life that's close to me is going to want it either, so I think this is going to have to go. Goodbye, Corinne. And then we have a book I never actually read for school, but it was a book that my sister read for school years ago when it was on her reading list, and she just gave it to me thinking it would be on mine too, but it wasn't, and I don't think it's on the reading list for those classes this year. So that is The Song of Roland, and who is this? This doesn't even have an author, The Song of Roland. This is just hanging on my life, and I just don't need it, so I'm gonna toss it. I don't even know where it's gonna go. Probably the library or something like that, or to Value Village, another one of those places. I might be able to give it to a used bookstore or something like that, but who knows? I just don't need it in my life. It takes up space. It's pointless. It's going. And then we have two arcs that are just hanging in my room for literally no reason. But the first one is Blood Brothers by Colleen Nelson. This takes place in what I guess is Winnipeg, but it never says it's Winnipeg. Super, super vague, and it's about these gangs and about this boy who falls in with his brother's gang and about his other friend who goes to this private Catholic school even though he's poor, and they do graffiti together and stuff. And I just thought this book was not good. It was super, super basic, super simply written, very straightforward. And I don't know if it's just books about graffiti, but I read Your Welcome Universe, which also deals with graffiti, and I did not like that either. So I don't know if I just hate graffiti. Maybe I'm just a super by the book, by the rules person. I don't like law breaking or something. I don't know. But this book just didn't appeal to me at all. I thought it was really, really dull. I think I gave it 3 stars, but it was really more of a 2-star book. I don't even know why I gave it 3 stars. Maybe because it's Canadian and I want to support those Canadian authors, but this was just not a great one, so I really wouldn't recommend it, and I'm getting rid of it. And then next we have a book that's not really the book's fault that I am getting rid of this and I don't like it, but that's Born by Jeff Vandermeer. I have no interest in this book, really. I read it quite a while ago and I thought it was so slow. The last 35 pages are really, really good and really action-packed, but I just thought this was a weird, slow book. I didn't really understand what was happening. The world building was lacking, in my opinion. And one of my coworkers who loves this book was telling me that apparently Jeff Vandermeer's writing is just so weird and strange. So if you've never read sci-fi before, it's actually a weird one to get thrown into. And this was the first adult sci-fi book I'd ever read. So I think this was just a bad choice and kind of made me scared of the genre. But I really just didn't enjoy it very much. So I think I'm going to get rid of this, probably bring it to work, or just give it to a friend or something like that, because I really have no interest in it, and it's just a weird book. I don't know, I'll never reread it, so I just have no purpose in it being on my shelf. And then the next book I'm for sure unhauling is The Love Interest by Cale Dietrich. I got this book a few months ago as an ARC, and again, didn't meet my expectations at all. It has such a cool premise. Basically, the idea is that there's this super secret spy organization that puts these people into the world called love interests, and their job is basically to go romance somebody who they think is going to have important information for the government, and they're going to get their secrets out of them and be married to them for the rest of their life and pass on the information forever. And of course, to make it dramatic, the idea is that there are 2 love interests set out who are both sorted into being a bad, is it a bad? There's a nice, and I think there's a bad. and they have to fit one of the archetypes, and they both have to try to woo the girl, and the other one who doesn't win dies. But then the bad and the nice boys start to fall for each other rather than falling for the girl, and it just sounded like such an exciting, interesting read, and it was not. I thought the main character had no emotions, basically. His prose was so bland. I didn't care at all about his character whatsoever, and I thought there was a lot of disappointments in this book. I really didn't like what the bad characters what they did with this character. I think they weren't really clear on whether he really liked Caden, who is the main character, or not, and what his intentions were in that situation. So I didn't really enjoy it. It was weird. I think someone on Goodreads says that it starts as like a teen romance and then turns into this weird apocalypse fight the system book, and I agree with that. It doesn't work well. I don't enjoy this. I don't recommend it, but I am going to get rid of it because I'm sure there are other people in my life who will enjoy this more. And then I'm going to be getting rid of the book Cracked by Cam Walton. I've had this on my shelf for so many years and I just don't care anymore. I read this a long time ago and it's really boring to me now, and I'm kind of wondering why it's even here anymore. It's about these two boys. One is named Victor, one is named Bull, and Bull bullies Victor. Of course his name is Bull and he's a bully, right? And these two basically end up in a hospital together. I believe it's a mental hospital, and have to work out their issues. It's not that great. I just remember being super underwhelmed by this book, and I remember I spent over $19 on it, so I was pretty disappointed with it. I'm not a fan. I wouldn't recommend it. I bought this so long ago now anyway, so I'm just gonna get rid of it. I don't know if I even have anyone in my life who would like this, so I'll probably donate it to the library or something like that, or to a used bookstore maybe. It's in really good condition, honestly, but I just don't care about it, so I'm getting rid of it. So that is all the books that I plan on unhauling for now. Let me know if you guys enjoy this kind of video. I kind of hope to do it once in a while, every time I get a crop of books and I'm not really into it all and I just don't want in my life. And as well, I do kind of want to do a proper bookshelf reorganization where I just declutter the whole thing, because I think I have so many books on my shelves that I don't read, I don't like, and they have no value for me anymore, so I kind of want to get rid of them, and I think this would be a good opportunity to do it. So let me know if you guys do want to see a proper bookshelf reorganization and just me getting rid of a bunch of books, because I kind of want to do it totally in a decluttering phase, so I think that would be a good thing for me. If you did enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up. As well, my social media links will all be in the description if you would like to follow me on any of those. But in the meantime, I will see you guys next time. Bye!